Hi, my name is Adam, and this video is for you if you have difficulty resting and relaxing. If you feel guilty when you try to rest or relax, if you find yourself just working really hard and pushing yourself past the point of exhaustion repeatedly, and you can't just stop and chill out or allow yourself to stop and chill out, this is definitely going to be for you. My name is Adam. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I help people unpick the locks in their minds and untie the knots in their bodies so that they can ground their spirituality into their human experience here on Earth. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about, I'm going to tell a little bit of a story about my history with not being able to rest and relax. Okay? I'm going to be talking a little bit about masculine feminine dynamics because that is one of the primary reasons why as a society we have a difficulty resting and relaxing. And then I'm going to give you the 5 things or beliefs that you can let go of in order to cultivate the ability to rest and relax as soon as possible. Okay. So when I was 3 years old, I just became exhausted. I was always exhausted. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to work because it didn't resonate with me. And I had health issues. So my whole life, I had this fatigue thing. You know, long story as short as possible. I did drugs for many years, mainly because I was looking for energy. It turns out you don't smoke pot and shoot heroin to try to get energy, but I didn't know that at the time. Went to rehab, 2 years, I got out, and as soon as I got out, I went, I gotta go. I gotta make up for lost time. I gotta heal as fast as I can, and I started pushing. And I would wear myself out over and over and over again. I would push, collapse, push, collapse. And I had to learn how to rest, truly rest, and self-care, self-nurture, all of it. Okay, now, where does this come from? I thought it was mostly just my pattern. And this is a pattern that's somewhat specific to me, but this is a very common global issue. Where does this come from? It comes from the imbalance between the masculine and feminine energies on our planet. Now, this is an enormous topic, and I can't get too deep into it in this video, or it'll be a 75-hour video. But I just want to touch briefly. And it centers around the concept of the patriarchy, which I know is a controversial term. Now, what I would suggest is to start to see the patriarchy from a metaphysical standpoint. And the reason for this is because it's the way, one, it's the truth, and two, it's the way we heal it. Okay? It's the way we heal it. So what is the patriarchy, essentially? It's the suppression and the subjugation of the feminine energy. Now, are women the only ones with feminine energy? No, not at all. We all have masculine and feminine energies within us. But we all have both. And the suppression of the feminine has fucked up men in a different way, about as bad as it has women. And I know I am not in any way denying the subjugation of women or any of that. I completely acknowledge that. But my point is, it's fucked us all up. And how do we heal it, right? So, let's just say the masculine energy is, right, the directive energy, the one that takes action, that goes out and builds. The feminine energy is more like nurturing, caring, creative, sensitive, loving. We all need both. We all need both in balance and in harmony, which is different per person, right? Our society has essentially been dominated by the immature masculine, and that's a critical point, because when we just say masculine and it's just men and it's all men and all masculine's the same masculine and we lump it all in together, all we do is continue to perpetuate the patriarchy, which is the victim perpetrator seesaw. I conquer you, you're the victim. You get mad, you conquer me, I'm the victim, and that never ends. That will go on forever. That's the immature masculine dynamic. And I would suggest very strongly, we have not had on this planet a model of mature masculine or mature feminine at all. We're just all learning that now. And this is how we learn that. Forgiveness, love, compassion, acknowledgement of the things that have happened, and forgiveness. Okay, so when the feminine is suppressed, right, especially with men, like the heart closes down, there's no love, there's no compassion, right? They go out and kill and fight and become numb because they kind of had to. Again, it's a society, really. Why do men go to war? You know, why do men fight and kill and all the horrible things that were on our planet? No connection to the feminine energy within them. But a lot of that really wasn't their fault. It wasn't most of the men's fault, right? It really wasn't. It's a global thing. Most men are good people, especially nowadays. Most people are good people. It's about all of us coming into balance to become whole beings. But the suppression of the feminine, men can't feel their hearts, they can't love, they go kill, they go fight, they're working 90 hours in business, trying to conquer. It's not exactly been like a really fun thing, you know? And what are they supposed to do? You know, you go off into a war, you can't stop and have a healing and drum circle in the middle of fucking Vietnam. It's like, how do you feel today, Patrick? I'm really sad because Steve's brains got blown all over my face, and I was trying to do some ayahuasca to meditate, and incoming! You know, like, what are you supposed to do? We all have that imbalance, though. We inherit it from just the world we live in, the Matrix, your parents, movies. So what happens is, and this is an example through my own pattern, my feminine had been suppressed for a long time. But I wore myself out with the masculine, so I became exhausted. So when I would try to rest, I couldn't let myself rest. There was this male part of me that's like, you gotta go, you gotta do, you're running out of time, you gotta get up, you gotta conquer, you gotta be big, you gotta be huge, you gotta make money, you gotta climb to the top of the ranks, go, 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 go. And I couldn't even get off the bed. I was just like, I can't. I was so tired. You're just wearing me out. I didn't even do anything. Finally, after I would heal for a little bit, I'd get a little bit of energy, but I never cleared that pattern. So I'd be like, oh, I feel like doing something now. Music, comedy, whatever. And I would go, but underneath the surface, I was being driven by that pattern. And so very quickly, after starting to take action, I'd collapse. That's our planet, basically. That pattern. Okay? We get to learn that resting, self-nurture, self-care, self-love is equally as important. Like, you cannot do and accomplish shit if you're not at peace, if you don't rest, if you don't take care of yourself, or you're just miserable and you're sick. Now, what are the 5 things to let go of in order to cultivate rest and relaxation as soon as possible? They're beliefs, basically. Number 1, the need to accomplish something in order to be worthy and deserving of love. We all have that. That is a human thing. Okay? Now, here's a quick tip on how to see if you have the belief. You probably do, but you can muscle test, right? You can one way is to create a circle with your hand like this, put your fingers inside it, and say something that you know to be true. Like, for me, I'd say, my name is Adam. And when I say that, it gets stronger. because I deeply believe that to be true. If I were to say my name is Eleanor, it breaks because it's weak, because I know that's not true. Everything is subjective on some level. So, like, I need to accomplish something to be worthy of love. It breaks because I've cleared that belief from me. That's a good way to see if you have it, but most of us have it somewhere. There is nothing you need to do, nothing you need to accomplish to be worthy and deserving of love. You are worthy and deserving of love as you are. So many actions, especially by men, are taken from the belief that they have to prove themselves. And it doesn't matter what you accomplish. You are doing it because you felt less than. So everything that you create is going to be a reflection of the belief that you're less than. And it's never going to end. And you're going to keep going and going and going to try to prove something. You don't need to prove anything. You already are. Number 2, resting is lazy. That's I wouldn't just say American, but it's definitely kind of an American perception. And it's definitely an immature, masculine perception. It's based in matrix slavery. You're a slave to the matrix. You're a slave to the system. It's like they want to just bleed you for everything that you have. And so if you want to rest, well, you're lazy. Fuck you. Do it anyway. That's a very negatively motivated belief. And you may, like for me, I got that. Like, I remember being a little kid, like about 3 or 4 years old, and I was exhausted, like I said. And I was lying down on the stairs one day because I couldn't even go up the stairs. And my dad sees me and he walks by and he goes, "What's the matter? You lame?" And he was just kidding. He was making a joke, but it hurt. I was like, oh my God, am I lame? Am I lazy? First off, what even is lazy? Nobody knows. It's a meaningless term. Are you tired or are you lazy? There's a difference between tired and lazy. And if you're tired, why are you tired? Start there. Resting is necessary. Resting is an activity. Resting is self-love. Without rest, you'll never do anything except hurt yourself. Number 3, the third belief to let go of in order to rest and relax as soon as possible. Money is the root of all evil. Okay, so many of us have had that belief. It comes from religious programming. It comes from, ancestral programming, your parents. There's so many different places this can come from. But most of I would say all of our actions on some level are driven by money, because money is what we're all out there doing things to get. So if you believe underneath the surface that money is evil, and then you're trying to take action on top of it, there's this rift in your belief structure. Like, I gotta go do this, but it's wrong. I gotta go get this, but it's evil. It's like gas, brake until the engine blows up. Money is just an energy. It's just an energy. You make it what it is. It's like a hammer, right? You can take a hammer and you can build a shelter for homeless people, or you can take a hammer and bludgeon someone to death. It's not the hammer, it's the person. Okay, 4. Fourth belief. Work is hard. Work is difficult. Work is slavery. Now, from my own experience, I've had beliefs around money, but my big beliefs were around work, because money and work are directly linked. Check to see how they're linked with you, right? Like, I always felt like I like money. If someone just gave me money, I'd be like, thanks. I mean, if someone's like, here's $1 million, I wouldn't be like, oh no, I can't take that. Please keep it. I'm not worthy. I'd be like, thank you. I'll take that $1 million. But because I was so exhausted, to me, in order to get money of any kind, I had to work. I had to work hard. I come from, Russian Jewish stock that struggled and suffered immensely. I have a Holocaust lineage. So in my DNA is the belief that work is slavery. And that's going to be running underneath the surface anytime you do or think about doing anything. Because remember, work, money, and activity are all completely interlinked. There is no one that doesn't have that interlinked somewhere within them unless they've done a shit ton of work to clear it. Because that's how our society is, right? So check to see, what are your beliefs around work? What are your beliefs around having to get the money? Do you believe you need to suffer? Do you believe you need to struggle? And anytime you go to take an action, there's going to be some subconscious resentment. Oh, I gotta go work to make money, and it's going to make you tired. And on some level, you still, I know we're all required to pay our bills, but as you start to clear these, you can shift the resentment and the anger around it, and you can start to shift into things that you like more and that are more fulfilling. But if you have deep-seated resentments at these things, you're just going to keep drawing in things to fulfill the resentment. Okay. Last belief. The fifth belief to let go of in order to rest and relax as soon as possible. Death is the end. I'll say that again. Death is the end. The other thing that is interlinked to action and rest more than anything is death. The fear of death is one of the biggest drivers of anything in the human unconscious, right? How this would manifest for me is I gotta go, I'm running out of time, I'm gonna die and I'm not gonna accomplish anything, I'm gonna die and I'm not gonna make anything of myself, I'm gonna die and I'm gonna have wasted my time and my gifts. And that can be a positive motivator, right? If you're really scared of what people think of you and you want to hide, as I've wanted to do, and I'm too afraid to put my art out there out of judgment, at some point, I kind of hit this thing of like, am I going to spend my whole life in this fear of what other people think about me and never put myself out there? And that fear of death kind of drives me to put it out. But what if you could skip the whole thing? Because that's still a negatively motivated responsibility. What if there was no death? What if it was just a transition? What if you never ceased to exist and you didn't have to do anything? You didn't have to push. You didn't have to accomplish. You didn't have to succeed. There was infinite possibilities, infinite time, and you were always abundant and successful and thriving and creative and alive. Then all that resistance underneath, all those knots in your belief structures would start to dissolve. And you wouldn't even need to go like, I'm running out of time, I got to get my stuff out there. You would just be like, I'm free. What do I want to do? Out of joy, out of enthusiasm. Where do I want to go? That's a huge topic. I don't want to spend too much more time on it because I could go on any of these topics for a long time. But I would just suggest starting to look at all those beliefs and finding how they connect to your ability to let yourself rest, to let yourself relax. And here's the final piece of information I'll leave you with. See resting and relaxation as an action. Because the mind always wants to be busy. It's like, I gotta do something. I gotta accomplish something. Like, it's hard to shut that completely off. Sometimes you gotta trick it. Consciously rest. Consciously relax. Make it a point. Block out time. I did that. I went to Ashland on vacation for like 9 months, and I didn't do much but rest, but I still was structured. I'd wake up at a certain time. I'd drink coffee and journal. I'd go to the park and just relax. I'd take a nap, but it was ordered. Like there was a masculine directive to the resting, which is the ultimate integration of kind of the male-female polarities within ourselves. So please take some time to comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions. Please like and subscribe. I will be doing more videos on the future on all of these topics. And Until next time, thank you.